Back with more Buffy. This is episode 21 of season 7, and this is the penultimate episode of Buffy, which is a lot to take in, but we're here, so let's get on with it, I suppose. If you're watching this on Patreon, hi, welcome. If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to the first day of Buffy finale week, and this is the reaction for day 1. You're welcome. This is a strange intro. Anyway, very excited, also kind of scared to see what's going to be happening with these last 2 episodes of the show. Quite the cliffhanger ending off the last episode with that bomb. So what's exactly going to happen with Faith and all the potentials there? I don't know. In an ideal scenario, the potentials will be a human shield for Faith. That would be lovely. But yeah, that's not the best situation, so we'll see how that goes. Buffy also found a pretty snazzy looking weapon that I imagine she's going to get some very decent usage out of. So we've got a bit of hope in the fight against the First, and I'd like to think so, given that we're definitely building to an end of something. And yeah, I'm very excited to see how this could not just set up like a finale for this whole story with the battle with the First, but also tie up the show. Lots to kind of process with that, but if any show can do it right, I feel like Buffy will. So let's get into the next one. Jesus. I mean, what was I expecting? It's a bomb, it's going to explode.
Because the question now, girly girl, is can you pry from solid rock before I come over deer?
Like King Arthur, bitch.
I said let her go.
I let her go.
It's about power.
Find her!
Kennedy's alive. Yay. Hello, old friend. Mood. They are quite creepy, these guys, aren't they? Is Buffy saving them? Yes! Do they sell a prop of that thing? Because I want one.
Get the wounded. We're leaving.
You're next.
That could have just as easily happened to me. So are you like back? I don't know. I guess I'm not leaving.
Well, let's wait and see. Let's set everyone down, see what they think.
Hey, we're supposed to use that to sterilize wounds. Mr. Jones said.
Come on, what is it?
Maybe she has wounds on the inside.
Slaughterhouse is what it is. What?
Bedside manner needs a bit of work, but...
I'll just kill you sooner.
It's a hospital. It's got to be all abandoned like the grocery store. Supplies just lying around for the taking.
Actually makes sense.
I'll get Kennedy to watch the girls. She's tough. Imminent death won't bother her. What?
Won't bother me either.
I feel like you're putting me out to pasture.
Of course I'm not putting you out to pasture. What does that even mean?
Well, you know, it's like when a cow gets old and loses an eye, or its ability to be milked. The farmer...
Or when you're kicked out of your own house.
Pasture, so it won't...
Xander, I need someone that I can count on no matter what happens.
I just always thought that I would...
Cut back to 2 episodes ago.
I would be there with you.
You will be. You're her heart.
I should be at your side. That's all I'm saying.
You will be. You're my strength, Xander. You're the reason I made it this far. I trust you with my life. That's why I need you to do this for me.
Oh, get emotional.
I'll
Fuck.
switch that shit bow and arrow anymore.
Ugh.
Do I have reference to the Sword of Moskva, the Reaper of the Tigris? How are we supposed to narrow this down?
I would call Wolfram Hart.
Must be pretty dangerous. And tapping into that.
Doesn't want to go there again.
I wonder if it was necessary.
Honestly, I don't know.
Oh God. Don't tell me she's gonna like sacrifice herself and make herself evil and then die and then I'll kill myself.
None of these sound right. I mean, look, here's one that's just M question mark. What the heck is that?
Is that gonna be it?
Let's see where these pagans buried their dead.
Xander, my crossbow is not out here.
Oh, it's good to see people working together again.
I don't leave crossbows around all willy-nilly. Since that time in Whiskey Fantastico.
Hey, did you know I have to take a driving test every year now?
Because you're old?
No, because of my
What happened to
car.
the key?
So,
Everyone's still kind of on guard around you. But before you know...
Are you evil or are you getting her to safety? Because she wouldn't go willingly. Is that what Buffy wanted him to do, right?
Not that I care personally, but you have wasted
Oh, heck.
a lot of growth. I will be able to enter every man, woman, and child on this earth. Just as I enter you.
Can you
trying to
not?
make me jealous?
Hello!
I am thy humble servant.
So is this how he's like super strengthy?
It wasn't your fault. Really not looking for forgiveness. You're not. What do you want me to say? I blew it. You didn't blow it. Tell that to people.
The bomb blew it.
You lead them into battle, they're gonna die. Robin lasted pretty long. Boy's got stamina. Principal would. And you. And in my... Don't tell me you two got rid of me. No. We're just... I'm looking at you, everything you have. And, I don't know, jealous. Then there I am. Everybody's looking
You
to
can
me,
get there.
trusting me to lead them, and I've never felt so alone in my entire life. Yeah,
Being the Slayer is lonely.
and that's you, every day, isn't it? There's only supposed to be one. Maybe that's why you and I can never get along. We're not supposed to exist together. Also, you weren't evil and were killing people. Good point. There's a burden we can't share. And no one else can feel it. Thank God we're hot chicks with superpowers. Yeah, Jeff. Comforting.
Last night was just a glitch. Bit of cold comfort from the cellar dweller. Still make a thing out of it.
Great. I have work to do.
Oh yeah, solo mission, of course.
This might be the key to everything. And the reason I'm holding it is because of you. Because of the strength that you gave me last night. I am tired of defensiveness and weird mixed signals. You know, I have faith for that. Let's just get to the truth here, okay?
It was the best night of my life. If you poke fun at me, you bloody well better use that, 'cause it may not mean that much to you, but...
I just told you it did.
Yeah. If nothing else, they'll have that, you know?
I hear you say it, but
It's nice that they have something good.
all I did was hold you, watch you sleep.
Kind of like what Faith was talking about.
And it was the best night of my life.
Being close to people.
Does it have to mean something?
No,
It can just be.
not right now. We'll go be heroes.
We can be heroes.
So how come you're here? I mean, you could just go, right?
Yeah. I did once before.
Before what?
Well,
Graduation.
Southern Apocalypse. And it's something that really matters. They fight. I mean, they're lame morons for fighting, but they do. Never quit. So I guess I will keep fighting too.
She doesn't want to quit like
That was kind of beautiful.
before when she left. I don't like that they're wrapping up a lot of character arcs, it would seem. Because that makes me nervous. I know they need to, because it's the end, but also...
I'm not so. So, wheelchair fight?
That's surprisingly wholesome.
I'd forgotten how young you would be. Comes from the waiting. Mind plays tricks.
Tilda Swinton?
What's your name?
Buffy.
No, really. We formed it in secrecy and kept it
Buffy's a good name.
in shadow. But we were watching then.
Oh, so you're like... What are you?
Guardians.
The Watchers.
Women who want to help and protect you.
I don't understand. How is it possible that we didn't know any of this?
We hid too.
Because they hadn't thought of it yet.
We had to. It can only mean an end is truly near.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that last part.
Oh,
Yeah,
you...
no, did she say the end is near or here?
Nathan.
Dearest Dawn, don't be angry with Xander. He only did what I told him to do. This isn't the place for either of you. Please know that I love you and that everything I do is for you. I promised once to show you this beautiful world, and I'm going to do everything I can to make that happen.
Huh. Well, that was not a very well built pillar, was it?
Hey.
Holy shit!
It's never much for preachers.
Oh my god.
Look good. You are so gonna lose.
He's just enjoying the fight, yeah. I just like that, Nathan. Oh, I think he liked it. Oh, maybe he didn't. Oh, okay. Right. Oh!
That bitch.
No! No, 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 don't do that. Okay, I really enjoyed this episode. I thought it was really, really good. Especially coming off the last few very frustrating episodes. This one, it felt like they were the characters again, if that makes sense. Because, you know, I get all the characters in the Buffyverse make mistakes all the time, and that makes them interesting and flawed and real. But I think, you know, the last couple of episodes, it kind of felt like it was the plot forcing the characters to make mistakes as opposed to the characters making them themselves. That's why I was a bit like, ugh, what are you doing? This one, they felt like the characters again. So that was good, and people were working together, people were communicating, all sorts of stuff. So lots to enjoy about this one. And I'm intrigued to see how it's all gonna wrap up in the last one. You get a sense that, like, this is it. You know, that guardian-y woman, she was talking about, oh, it's certainly an end. And she might as well just look straight into the camera when she said that. And they just keep reminding, like, oh, look how far Anya's come. Look how far Spike's come. Oh, Xander, look how far you've gotten me. I'll trust you with my life. There's a lot of that, which makes me nervous. Because anything could happen to any of them in the next episode, because that's just it, which scares me. Oh, heck. Oh, heck. Anyway, before we talk about any of that sadness for the next episode, where do we begin? Let's just get the potentials out of the way, because I'd rather do that. I loved the kind of opening sequence with them just being utterly terrified and useless with the Uber Vamps. To be fair, the Uber Vamps are Uber Vamps, but we've seen them just struggle with Vamps, so they really were screwed if Buffy hadn't come along. But I did like them taking the initiative to not just abandon anyone who was still, you know, if they were hurt and weakened a bit, they still kind of carried them out, they carried Faith out and everything, you know, they could have just easily been cowards and left her there to die. But they didn't do that with any of them, so the ones who were survived, they kind of all stuck together. That was good. I like that kind of showcasing that they've bonded, even if they're all basically terrible. So yeah, that was cool, and I love the moment of Buffy just dropping in with the new axe cool weapony thing, which I love. If they do like a replica of that, I want it. I want to hang that above my bed. That'd be so cool. But yeah, that was interesting, and Amanda being like, oh, we've been punished. I was like, probably, yeah. But again, it was kind of, mistakes are going to happen, and then I enjoyed how Faith in the last episode, she was kind of defending Buffy a bit to the first as the mayor, and in this episode, Buffy defended Faith in return to the potentials, and she was like, well, you know, it was a trap, you know, it happened to Faith, yes, but it could have easily have happened to me. So that was cool to kind of see her come to face defense. For the first time, I'm not sure, but it doesn't happen that often. And I think we've got a bit of bonding between Buffy and Faith clearly has really understood exactly what Buffy's had to deal with for like 7 seasons now, because she, you know, Faith hasn't had the full extent of just being the Slayer, all that much in terms of how much Buffy's had to do it. And now that Faith's had a sense of that, I think she's really understood how lonely it is for Buffy. even if she has like all these people around her, people she loves and cares about, who can help her out and everything, there's so few people in the world who know what it's like to be the Slayer, because most people can only be the Slayer once the previous one's dead. So that makes it a bit difficult to talk about with them. Obviously with the whole Buffy dying coming back situation, it made it a bit less lonely in a sense with Kendra than with Faith, but Kendra died, and then you know, Buffy and Faith kind of didn't get on ultimately, so lonely all over again. But I loved seeing Faith's journey to kind of understanding exactly what Buffy's been feeling, and then kind of having a bit of bonding there between them, which was really nice to see, because there were elements of that in early season 3 before Bad Girls happened and it all went wrong. So that was really cool, and I like that they could be building to them actually having some peace between them. Maybe they're not going to be like best friends in the world, but there was a mutual understanding, I think, in that moment. And I liked Faith opening up about the fact that she's never really had these strong bonds with people that have lasted for particularly long ever in her life. And Buffy can have those things, but also not in the sense of a normal life. She can't enjoy the normal relationships that she does have because she doesn't have the normal life because she's the Slayer. And now Faith kind of getting that. Buffy could hear Faith's side of things as well and what she's been through. And then that related to what Spike was saying in a really lovely scene with him and Buffy, when he was kind of opening up to her about how he's never really felt close to people. And he's only ever gotten close to Buffy before. And like that night together just then was like the best night of his life. Oh my goodness, my heart. So how they kind of linked to all of that, the idea of loneliness and closeness, very much ties to like the intimacy theme that I think ran through the last episode. So them continuing that makes a lot of sense. So I enjoyed that. All very well and good. But yeah, I liked the fact that Faith didn't die. That was good, that she didn't get blown up. And just that kind of mutual understanding, I think, is kind of forming between her and Buffy. So nice to see. And it's just, when people get along, I enjoy that. You know, maybe it is dramatic to have people fight and make all these stupid decisions all the time. But when it comes down to it, I think the scenes people really look back on and remember fondly are the scenes like that, when the characters are understanding each other and united, and they need to be united to win this fight, I think. So that was great to kind of see a lot of that. We saw people kind of return to those natural roles, I think, in this one. You know, Xander having reservations about what Buffy wants him to do, but he does it anyway. And like 2 episodes ago, when he just kicked her out of her own house, for example, which I'll probably never forgive them all for, let's be honest. But we're going to move forward because they all did. Okay, we're going to try and push the salt away, push it away. Too much salt is bad for you. But yeah, that happened, and Giles and Willow were back to doing like some research, which was really fun to see. I like them kind of puzzling it out a bit. Faith was unconscious for a lot of it, like she was in Angel, like she was in Buffy for the coma for God knows how long, like 6 months or something. You know, she's pretty damn good at it at this point. So well done, Faith. You do you. So yeah, a lot of the potentials weren't really bitching and moaning, which was a nice change of pace as well. So I appreciated the not inclusion of that, if that makes sense. And yeah, we had a scene where Anya actually showed some care and affection for humans, and I wish they kind of explored that side of her a bit more, not just the, oh, you're not my friends, you know, I'm just around here. Because that didn't feel true to the development Anya had gotten. I know she'd been burned a few times, like with the wedding and everything, but it still didn't sit right with me that Anya would say that. But I do think a lot of it is just a front. I think part of her still is very afraid and disgusted at the idea of being mortal and being human. So she's always going to have that kind of resentment there. But I do think she maybe overplays it a bit as like a defense mechanism, which makes a lot of sense. And we kind of saw a bit of that breaking down, I think, with Andrew, the scene with them. It's just remarkable, isn't it? Like, I can't believe I'm saying it, but you pair Andrew with someone, and it's kind of golden this season. Like, Andrew and Spike was hilarious. Anya and Spike, Anya and Spike, let's not go there again. Anya and Andrew was brilliant. I loved their little chair fight thing that they did. It just felt so real, and it was nice to see Anya have a bit of fun like that and let loose in a way we haven't really seen her in a little while. And, you know, they used her really overconfidence about herself and her lack of tact and bluntness for comedy in this one, which I feel like they haven't done in a while. I think they kind of lost that aspect of the character for a lot of this season, just because the last few didn't really feel like those exact characters. It was like, where are you? Where are you, characters that I love? But kind of hit the stride again, I think, with this episode, which I really enjoyed. And yeah, I loved the scene with Anya kind of venting her frustrations about humans, and how they brought it back to graduation day when she like warned Xander like, oh, come away with me, you don't want to be here for the end of the world, and then she left, and obviously she came back, but this time she's not going to do that. I love that, and that showcases how far she's come, and the fact she doesn't want to be, you know, she's human, she can't do anything about that anymore, but she can choose what kind of human she can be, and she's going to choose to be one of the stupid humans that stays to fight the good fight and potentially die in the good fight. I love that. Like how far she's come from when we first met her. Mwah! Love it. Fantastic. Loved everything with that. And even Andrew kind of pushing at that and seemingly really understanding Anya in that moment and knowing like, oh, you love humans really, you know you do. And maybe Anya will forever be reluctant to admit that, but I think she does. I like to, otherwise she really would just piss off and leave and live in a cave or something, you know, away from humans. So yeah, that was really lovely, and I love praising Andrew. Like, what on earth is going on? Go back a few months, I was wishing him dead. Go back a few weeks, I was probably wishing him dead. But you know, he's been really good this season. I will not deny. So I love the scene with those two. I thought that was really, really nicely done, very well handled, very well acted and performed, and just there was a lot of the moments where this episode just stopped and like paired up some characters and just developed them a bit. So we kind of had, you know, the Buffy and Faith scene, we had the Buffy and Spike scene, we had that scene just then with Anya and Andrew. They paired up Willow and Giles a bit, but it wasn't really so much as like, oh, look how far we've come, the two of us still reading books. You remember that time the computer guy fell in love with you, the computer demon? So it wasn't so much so like showcasing how far those two have come, but they were still paired up, working together, and I enjoyed that a bit. And we did get an element of it, because Willow's like, well, you know, if I delve too deep into this weapon and everything, what if Dark Willow comes out again? And the fact that Giles was like, well, what if it comes down to that? That makes me nervous, because I'm hoping it's not going to come down to that. And what if she can't be stopped and they have to kill her or something? What if it's like a Dark Phoenix kind of storyline? That's what I feared the end of season 6 was going to be. What if they just, I thought we passed that and they do it again? I will lose my shit. I will sob. So that makes me a bit nervous, but there's still a bit there. I think it's just that doesn't impact as much as the other scenes did in this episode, because we have had a lot of scenes where it's like, oh, if I push this too far, I might turn evil again. Literally, the last episode with Kennedy, she had a very similar scene. It's been done quite a bit this season. So maybe there's going to be some sort of finality to that in the finale. That's kind of my hope. So I do feel like Willow's just kind of, she's been around for a lot this season, but she hasn't been like front and centre for a lot of it in the way I think previous seasons have used her. And obviously she's my cinnamon roll, and I only have one episode left of her in live action, so oh gosh, that's awful and sad, isn't it? So I'm hoping she really can get a lot of moments to shine in the next episode as well. But I liked the scenes with her and Giles kind of working things out. They felt like themselves again. It was wonderful. And Xander and Dawn were paired up for a bit when he knocked her unconscious, drove her away, but it's all kind of part of Buffy's plan. And I like that Buffy in the past has put herself in harm's way to protect Dawn, like at the end of season 5 with the gift. She was doing it again here, but Dawn's like, this time, no, she's not on her own this time. She's not going to jump off that ledge again, and I'm just going to stand there and watch. I'm going to go back and help her. I love that. I think that's really cool. Again, showcasing how far Dawn's come from the end of season 5 to as we approach the end of season 7. I think the fact that she had the taser to knock Xander out shows some sort of preparedness. She probably knew Buffy was going to pull something like this to maybe get her away from the battle. And Xander as well along with them. So she's turned the car around. So yeah, I imagine they must have some role to play in this final battle, which I'm kind of here for, because it would be a shame if those two sort of missed out, because they have been key players for quite some time now, particularly Xander. Obviously he's been around since the very start, and I like him to really stick it to Caleb and like kill him. But I don't know if Caleb's actually dead. If that is it, Buffy just stopped him, I feel that's a bit like, oh, okay. I will be a bit like, right. It would be a very Mr. Trick kind of ending to the character if that's it for Caleb, she just killed him. It seemed a bit too like quick that happened. But I guess he was distracted by Angel arriving and everything. But we'll see. I obviously can't fully judge that until the next episode, because maybe the first just possessed him again or whatever, and he's just like, I walked it off. But we'll see. I don't know if Buffy confirmed the kill or not. Either way, it's cool to see a bit more of Caleb regardless, have a bit of a fight there. It's always fun to see Nathan Fillion. We've got a bit of an explanation for like exactly why he's this strong and everything, like the first kind of merging with him, exactly how they can do that, and why they don't just do that to loads of people who can serve them. I'm not sure if they're ever going to explain or not. That seemed a bit like vague, but I'll take it because it's kind of an explanation regardless. And it was cool to see Buffy, even if it is like temporary and he'll come back or whatever in the next one, I don't know. It still felt good to see Buffy get one up on him and take him out, or at least win a fight against him. So that was really cool. And again, development, fun. And yeah, just picking up the first more as villains, the Uber Vamps. I actually thought they were very creepy in this episode. They're very well filmed, I thought. They work a lot better in like little like dark environments like that, as opposed to like this big arena stage, even though that was still badass when Buffy killed that one. But how easy she kind of took them all out with that weapon. Maybe does that kind of make them seem not as powerful now, given that she has such a hard time with one? Is that going to make this weapon just seem a bit too convenient and OP? Or does it make the Uber Vamps just look weaker than they were in their original appearances this season? I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Because we saw in like a vision Buffy had ages ago, there are a lot of those buggers. So I guess that's going to be like a big battle for them to fight at some point. Well, at some point. Probably the next episode, Liam. One left. But we'll see what happens with it. And I do like the design of the Uber Vamps and everything, so it's cool that they're revisiting them. So yeah, that was good. And yeah, Dawn taking the initiative was really nice. I like Xander's reluctance to kind of do what Buffy asked and leave, because he still wants to. He doesn't want to feel like he's just being herded away from the battle because he's a bit injured right now. Again, it's kind of the whole masculinity thing with Xander. You know, he's grown a lot from that. Obviously, it's not like he was in like the high school years of the show or anything. He has come a long way, but it's still going to be like an issue with him. Obviously, from probably stemmed all the way back from his father and how he was raised there. But yeah, either way, he's on his way back to Sunnydale now with Dawn, so I guess they'll find a way to make the most of the situation and get involved. But I did like the interactions with that. And yeah, the idea of like being alone and isolated as the Slayer and versus like finding that connection with someone. So I talked about that a bit already with Buffy, Faith and Spike, what they were all talking about. And yeah, I love that scene with Buffy and Spike. It was kind of like a love confession, but not, in a way. I don't know if we'll get more of that in the final episode. I imagine the fact that it can't be like much of a coincidence that they brought Angel back right at the end. But also, I know Angel's going to go into... He's still got another season of his show left, and I don't think Buffy's going to be around for that. So, yeah. I don't know either way exactly how that's going to turn out. Even if she gets back with Angel, or she gets with Spike, I feel like... I don't know. There's still bigger things, I guess, than like which ship is better. And I don't even know if they would like make a final choice, because that's going to piss off a lot of people, wouldn't it? So I'm not even sure it'd be as simple as that if it came down to it. There'd be a lot of complications there, and Spike tried to keep it deliberately vague as well, maybe to avoid disappointment. But there's definitely something between, you know, Buffy and Spike. I don't know if it's love on Buffy's part or not, maybe. But when Spike was kind of saying, "Oh no, it's a one-off thing," you know, it doesn't. You know, it's just a weakness. It's not going to happen again. Buffy seemed a bit like, oh, okay, I guess that's how it is. She did seem a bit disappointed. So I feel like we know she has feelings for him regardless. And alongside that, Angel was like her first big love. He's always going to be very important to her. Was that kiss fan servicey as fuck? I would say so. I feel like they both had moved on significantly from their time together. But also, if there's a time for fan service, it's probably when the show's coming to an end. And again, we do know Angel's going to go off into another season of his show. I don't think Buffy's going to be around for that. So it's probably like a last little hurrah for the fans. But also, does it undermine the whole stuff with Spike earlier? are they going to commit to a relationship or not? There's always been a bit of a flux with that, I suppose. But yeah, if there's a moment for fan service and to please the fans, give, you know, more Buffy and Angel moments while they still can, it makes sense to do it as Buffy's coming to an end, you know. And it's not like suddenly everything that they've built up with Spike and stuff has just been disregarded, because we've still got some really nice scenes with them in this episode. We still probably will get some scenes with Angel and Spike in the next episode as well. So yeah, a little bit of Angel. It's been a while. So I didn't know. I hoped, because the season 4 finale of Angel, Lila gave him that like necklacey thing that's going to be key to the final battle they mentioned. I thought maybe he'll just send it in the post or something. I was kind of like, what if he delivers it? That'd be fun. A nice little callback to like the very first Buffyverse crossover with the two shows. Really, outside of obviously Cordelia just being in the main cast, was when Oz like delivered that jewelry piece to Angel, the ring thing. So it's kind of full circle in that sense, like delivering a bit of jewelry, whatever. So I like that, but I wasn't sure if it was just going to be like an off-screen thing where Angel just sends that along, being like, oh, you're going to need this because of like different networks and stuff now. And that's why I thought, oh, you know, when Angel wasn't in season 6, I was like, well, maybe they just can't cross over anymore. Maybe that's a bit more difficult. But they did it, and I'm very happy they did, because obviously if there's a character in Buffy's past in the entire show who's alive and can come back properly, who should probably be around, I think it would have to be Angel, wouldn't it? So I'm glad that he's going to be here for the end as well. It's bizarre to think that he's only like main cast for 2 out of the 7 seasons, but he still has such an impact on the show, really. So it does feel right for Angel to kind of make a return. And yeah, shippers delighted, I suppose. Angel fans, Buffy fans, I think they both had something in this episode for sure. But the ending with Spike seeing them kiss worries me, and the first being there to manipulate him again. I'd kind of forgotten that they might just come back and use Spike again, because they were kind of afraid that would happen, weren't they? And it seems like the time is now. They're just seizing the opportunity there. Hopefully Spike can kind of fight through it and ignore it. Because he knows what Buffy said to him earlier, and she really did mean it. And I love that she said that to him as well. Like, the fact that she has this weapon and everything, that she has a fighting chance against the First now, is because of Spike instilling that confidence in her in the last episode and that belief in her. And that, you know, it was a very special night for both of them in a non-physical way, which had never really been the case for those two, like in season 6. So again, the development just of like that relationship in terms of like a romantic style has come a long way as well, which I love. So everything that was really, really nice. Anything else? I am glad they made a point that Angel didn't just come in, save the day, stop Caleb, and Buffy saved. He let her finish the fight, and he was like, yeah, I'm going to enjoy this. Because that would have been like, okay, so Angel's going to come in from his show and just save the day in Buffy's penultimate episode of her own show. I don't think so, sir. So I'm glad they kind of made a point that that was going to be the case. And we also got a bit of added lore, I suppose, with the Guardian woman, rest in peace. F to pay respects to a real one. I mean, she was just exposition, the character, but still, I don't mind too much that they've just kind of been like, well, we've just thought of this lore for season 7, that, you know, this has actually been deep within Sunnydale all this time, and things have appeared and been built on top of it, on top of it, on top of it. This ancient weapon, everything used to kill the last demon, the last pure demon. Is that interesting, a little bit of addition to the lore at the last minute, I suppose. But it's something, and it can give some more context to some wider stuff we've seen about the origin of the Slayer, the origin of the Watchers and everything. So it was cool to get there. And they even made the Guardian woman a bit sassy, and she didn't seem to like the name Buffy, which was rude, and quite frankly, she deserved it. I mean, she didn't, but still. So yeah, the kind of addition to the lore there, and even at this like 11th hour, was a nice little bit of extra stuff to write on a Wikipedia page, I guess. But yeah, I really, really love this episode a lot. There's some really cool setup, I think, for the final episode, with Angel being back, the bit with Spike in the first at the end, which is very concerning. Willow and Giles learning a bit more about the weapon, Buffy learning more about the origins of it as well and what it could mean. It's like, oh, it's a powerful weapon, but use it at the right moment, use it for the right thing or something she was saying. So there's still a bit of a mystery of exactly what this weapon needs to do, I suppose. And Dawn, Xander heading back to Sunnydale. What role are they going to play in the final battle? Who's going to live? Who's going to die in this? I'm nervous. I just don't know. And potentially Caleb's just dead, which I'm a bit like, oh, on if that's really it. But again, we'll see. Additions to lore were fun, but it felt like these were the characters again, and I loved that. I'm glad we're heading into the last episode with me feeling like that. Because I was kind of a bit feeling like, oh god, I've kind of really gone off some of these characters as we've got into the last few episodes. And I was like, I don't want to end on like a sour note with like a character like Giles, for example. Because I was kind of feeling like, oh, I've kind of gone off Giles a bit this season. And I don't want to end the show with me feeling like that, because I've loved him up till now. But it felt like Giles again in this one, and I hope we get a proper scene at least with just him and Buffy in the last episode, because that's one of the most significant relationships in the show, I think. I'd love to see like a nice father-daughter kind of bonding thing with them, maybe. So yeah, just some slow moments with the characters like that. The Buffy and Spike stuff was really nice. The Buffy and Faith stuff was wonderful as well. Xander and Dawn stuff, Anya and Andrew, mwah, that was great. And the potentials weren't too terrible. So that's awesome. And I'm excited to see how this all kind of wraps up. Very scared. It's going to be very sad as well. But this was a fantastic kind of prelude, I think, to the final episode of the show. My goodness. Nearly 3-year journey is coming to an end. One more episode. 143 down, 1 to go. Madness. That's a lot of time to watch the show, and that's a lot of editing time. Bloody hell, that's at least like 400 hours of editing time, and I only have to do it one more episode, basically. I mean, at this point I haven't yet edited this one, but then I have the other one, so a lot of work going into these final few reactions, and it's gonna be weird when it finally is over. But yeah, I'm glad that this penultimate episode was so good, and I feel like I have the characters back again. I feel like I just love them all again, and I'm like renewed, like yes, let's kick some ass. And predictions, I really don't know. It's the very last episode of the show. I'm fully preparing myself to lose people. If Willow dies, I will cease to function. I feel like if any of like the core cast die though, but I feel like they're going to have to, aren't they? I bet those bastards couldn't resist killing off a main character. Maybe. I don't know, I'm scared. We're just going to have to wait and see, honestly. I'm just glad that Angel's around for the last episode. I think it makes sense to bring him back. I don't know if we'd see anyone else. Because, I think, maybe like the first will appear as Tara or something, for like a crazy callback to get the actress back one last time. But we've already talked about in comments and stuff that Amber didn't want to come back to be Tara as the first, so I imagine that's not going to be happening. If Oz came along in like the final act of the battle with a group of werewolves, it make no fucking sense. I would die, but it makes no fucking sense story-wise. I feel like we've just moved past all of that, so I'm not expecting anything like that. I feel like we have enough characters to juggle already. I don't know if the finale's extra long. I don't know if it's just like a standard 40 minutes, if it's an hour, if it's an hour and a half. I don't know yet. But there's a lot to juggle and wrap up regardless, so I feel like we've probably set the stage for an epic final episode, hopefully. But yeah, I feel weird knowing that this is my penultimate afterthoughts for Buffy. And nearly 3 years is coming to a close. But yeah, I'm excited, I'm scared, I'm nervous. I hope it's a finale I'm happy with. I hope it's a finale that you guys are happy with as well. I hope it's a final reaction you guys are happy with. That's always a nervous thing. What if I have an underwhelming reaction to the last ever episode and people are like, oh, we watched you for 3 years for that? Screw you. That would suck. But I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. But yes, that's going to be everything for this. I hope you enjoy the other reactions for the rest of Buffy finale week. And again, if you're watching this on Patreon, you probably would have already seen the final episode reaction go up, if you're watching this on YouTube as well. So yeah. Damn. Feels weird. I don't know how to feel. I'm either going to be like completely emotionless and just like devoid of tears, or I'm going to be a mess. I don't think there's going to be an in-between. I'd like there to be an in-between, but I guess we'll see. It's still not quite sinking in yet. that I only have one more left, but it will very, very quickly, because it's going to be, oh, it's the last time I hear the theme tune on the new episode that I haven't seen yet. And when it's the last kind of final credits come up, I'm going to like, ugh. Anyway, rambling, I know. Fantastic episode, really, really loved it. And I look forward to seeing how it's all going to end, and hopefully you are looking forward to that too. So yeah, until my final Buffy reaction, thanks for watching.